Welcome, and thank you for joining Washington State Ferries and the City of Mukilteo at tonight's open house for an update on the Mukilteo Multimodal Ferry Terminal project. At tonight's open house, the project team will share potential traffic improvement plans and ask for your feedback. After you view this presentation, meet with the staff in the adjoining room for more information and to provide feedback on the project. All of the materials featured at tonight's open house will be available on the project website. First, let's briefly review the need for the project. The Mukilteo Ferry Terminal is more than 60 years old, and its timber piling foundation is vulnerable to earthquakes. The Mukilteo Clinton route is one of Washington State Ferry's busiest and serves almost 4 million passengers every year. The current layout makes it difficult for passengers to get in and out of the terminal and contributes to congestion, safety concerns, and conflicts between vehicles and pedestrian traffic. This project replaces the aging dock and builds a safe and efficient new facility that enhances access to transit, including the Sounder commuter rail and bus service. This is a critical improvement to manage the projected growth in walk-on ridership on the Mukilteo Clinton route. The new terminal will be located just east of the existing facility. Key features include new terminal buildings and 4 new toll booths, an expanded vehicle holding area, a new transit center, and close proximity to the commuter rail station. The existing tank farm pier will be removed, eliminating thousands of tons of toxic creosote-treated debris from Puget Sound. The new passenger building will serve as the new ferry terminal hub and includes an overhead passenger loading ramp connecting the second story of the new passenger building. It will be designed to reflect the cultural significance of local tribes and the history of the Mukilteo Point Elliott area. This project meets LEED Silver environmental requirements, and the design will limit building height to protect the view of the waterfront. Here's a snapshot of the project schedule. The Federal Transit Administration issued a record of decision in August. Federal approval of the project based on an assessment of impacts to the community and the environment. The project can now move forward to final design and construction. The first phase of construction begins in early 2015 and features removing the existing tank farm pier and dredging at the new terminal site. The second phase of construction is scheduled from 2017 to 2019 and features building the new ferry terminal. The new terminal is scheduled to open in 2019, depending on the funding. Washington State Ferry's long-range plan projects a 73% increase in total passengers, excluding vehicle drivers, on the Mukilteo Clinton route by 2030. The traffic analysis prepared as part of the EIS extended the long-range plan estimates to 2040. We expect a 124% increase in walk-on passengers during westbound evening peak hours. This will provide more efficient and safer multimodal connections for passengers on the Mukilteo Clinton road. Meeting these projections is a central aspect of the project. Washington State Ferries and the city have heard your concerns regarding traffic near the terminal. We'd like to share with you 2 planned traffic improvements, as well as hear your opinions on additional improvements being considered in the area. Following the presentation, you'll have the opportunity to provide comment on potential traffic improvements and share new ideas. The project includes 2 planned improvements, the first of which is to use the 2 new traffic signals to meter traffic as it offloads the ferry to allow for breaks in traffic entering SR 525. Additionally, Washington State Ferries has identified 5 intersections where brush clearing and grading would improve sightlines for drivers entering SR 525. Signage could also be installed in holding lanes to limit car holding near intersections with limited sightlines. The traffic analysis in the EIS identified 2 signals that would operate below acceptable level of service in 2040, at SR 525 and 5th Street, and SR 525 and 88th Street Southwest. We heard from you at the Shoreline Permit public comment period. Washington State Ferries and the City of Mukilteo are working closely to identify other traffic improvements. Tell us what you think. Following this presentation, proceed to the open house and use stickers to indicate which traffic improvements you prefer, or share your ideas with members of the project team. The first option is adding pedestrian crossings at bus stops along SR 525 to improve pedestrian safety and access to transit. A pedestrian overpass would improve safety and convenience of pedestrians and bicyclists accessing the waterfront. The City Council selected the SR 525 and Park Avenue plans as preferred alternatives. There are also options for widening SR 525 at the Goat Trail Road intersection. Both options are pictured below. Now we'll cover what to expect during Phase 1 construction. In-water construction will pause from mid-February through July in 2015 and 2016 to protect birds and wildlife, though other light work may continue during the spring-summer window. Phase 1 construction will be complete in early 2017, and construction of the new terminal will begin, depending on funding. Throughout construction, the ferry terminal will remain open. Truck haul hours during Phase 1 construction are 7 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Fridays. Incoming trucks will access the project site through the third toll booth through the ferry queue lane to bypass the Front Street SR 525 intersection. The third toll booth will be designed for construction vehicles during these designated hours. Approximately 85% of all materials removed from the existing pier will be hauled out by barge, further limiting truck traffic. About 150 truckloads may use upland haul routes for removal of non-timber material from the pier and portions of the pier closest to the shore. Noise-causing construction is limited to weekdays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Noise-causing work can only occur outside of these times by special permission from the city. Washington State Ferries may request exemptions for special and unusual circumstances. You can expect relatively light construction noise during Phase 1 construction. Most noise will be associated with vibratory pile removal, which makes a rattling sound and lasts between 20 minutes to 30 minutes per pile. Sound levels will be approximately 64 decibels for the area colored in yellow, or just slightly louder than a television at 10 feet. The area in white will be slightly quieter. Construction of the new terminal during Phase 2 will be slightly louder because of pile driving equipment required to build the new facility. Noise restrictions are the same as Phase 1. PA announcements at the new terminal will occur between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. if required. Emergency announcements may be made outside of normal hours. The new terminal will feature a smarter PA system with volume controls and speakers in multiple locations, which means less noise outside of the terminal area. Pedestrians can currently access Edgewater Beach Park through an interim walkway along the project site. Access points will be changed during different phases of construction, but access will be maintained throughout the project. The current pedestrian path is outlined in red and will provide waterfront access through the summer of 2015. The yellow line indicates a new path that will provide pedestrian access beginning in the summer of 2015. Washington State Ferries will closely monitor the project site to meet all water quality standards during pile removal, installation, and dredging. Stormwater will be collected and treated during operation of the new terminal. Recreational activities such as diving and kayaking will be limited at times during construction. Washington State Ferries will reach out to the diving and recreational waterfront communities to share information and ensure public safety around the project site. Construction and new terminal operations will not have a measurable impact to fish, birds, or other wildlife. In fact, removing nearly 3,900 creosote-treated timber pilings will create a healthier environment. The final environmental impact statement for the project includes several requirements to mitigate impacts to the environment, including having biologists on site to monitor nests and young birds in the project area, and only disturbing nests if they're threatened by construction. Season restrictions on heavy construction will limit impacts to fish and crab populations near the pier. Following today's meeting, the project team will review comments and suggestions to identify the most important traffic improvements in the area. A contractor will be hired to dredge and remove the tank farm pier, and Phase 1 construction will begin. Phase 1 construction will conclude by 2017, at which point the project will continue with construction of the new terminal in Phase 2. Depending on funding, the new terminal will open in 2019. Stay tuned for future public involvement opportunities as the project progresses. Please join project staff in the adjoining section of the Point Elliott Room for more information on the Mukilteo Multimodal Project. Thanks for attending tonight's open house.